Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. And happy 24-hour horrorathon. First things first, it is Friday. My kids are at school. I'm kind of just having a slouchy morning. Horrorathon starts tonight at, I think it's 7 p.m. Central Time. So until then, I have some editing and stuff to get done, but I wanted to start building my TBR because I have no idea what I'm reading for it. Horrorathon is hosted by Ashley, so shout out to her because I love this readathon so much. It's every other month, so I love always sharing it because if you missed it this month, you can catch it in 2 months. It is currently February 9th, and it starts off at 7 tonight, and that is when she usually will do sprints on her channel, and I like joining them because usually she's reading the buddy read, so I like to read it too at the same time. It's a good time, but I've actually missed, I think, the last couple sprints, so I really want to try to make it tonight, at least for some of it, and read the buddy read. It's 24 hours of reading. I am probably not going to stay up all night tonight. I'm already tired. It's a readathon on a weekend, and I know a lot of readathons fall on weekends, but it makes it very difficult for me to just stick to the straight 24 hours because there's going to be a lot of interruptions. So yeah, let's build a little bit of a TBR because I need to figure out what I'm reading for the next 24 hours. So the buddy read this time around is the Haar by David Sodergren. Frightening cover. I will be reading this tonight with the sprints. Some contenders I have though. I have some book club picks that would be perfect for this. I believe The Broken Places is a book that is at least, I think, under 200 pages, or maybe it's 200 and something, but I think it would be doable. I try to normally do novellas and shorter books for this because I'm an overachiever. I try way too hard for readathons, and whenever there's a template, this template for the horrorathon has 4 slots, so I always try to fill them up, and I get very ambitious with it. So, yeah, the Dark Hearts Book Club, I think The Broken Places is a pick for it. I think it was the January pick, if I'm not mistaken. And then the February pick, I believe, for it is Alice. So I thought it would be perfect to read these two, get caught up on that book club, because these are kind of great books for that. This one is a little bit thicker than I would like for this, but I think it's still under 300 pages, and I don't know, it just kind of looks like a book that I could probably fly through. So it's a contender. I also have a bunch of short stories from Edgar Allan Poe that I'm still trying to read, so I thought I could throw maybe 1 or 2 of these in the mix. So that's kind of what I'm playing with right now. Not really a determined TBR this time, or a definite TBR, but I don't know, we'll get there. But I am going to be starting the Haar today. I don't know how much I'm going to vlog, but I will be participating in the sprints hopefully tonight, and staying up to at least finish 1 or 2 books. We'll see. I don't fear death, but they do. Muriel McGauley has lived in the Scottish fishing village of Witchhaven all of her life. She was born there and she intends to die there. But when an overseas property developer threatens to evict the residents from their homes and raze Witchhaven to the ground in the name of progress, all seems lost. Until the day a mysterious fog bank creeps inland. The Haar, to some, it brings redemption. To others, it brings only madness and death. What macabre secrets lie within? The Haar, romantic and deranged. The Haar is a gore-soaked folk horror fairy tale. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. It is Saturday. Although I did not stay up all night, I still feel like I barely got any sleep. So I definitely am consuming my caffeine right now and thought I would get ready with you guys. The reading sprints were really nice last night. I feel like there was more than usual, maybe just like by one, but it was with Ashley's little library here on YouTube, if you're didn't already know, but also with Lexi as well. She is like co-hosting this month's Horrorathon, which is really cool. I love Lexi too. We're both reading the Haar as well, so it was fun kind of like buddy reading that on sprints, although no spoilers are mentioned or anything during the sprints, although a few people were like popping off in the comments down below in the sprints. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of getting a little frustrated because I was just like, girl, we have not made it that far. Like, stop posting quotes on this book. I think it was like 2 different times. I don't know if it was the same person, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, we get that we're all reading the same book, or a portion of us are, but like, there was a couple of sprints where I had to like get up and go like, get the boys ready for bed, or let Riley outside, feed an animal, something like that. And so I tried to stay like about where they were at in the book, just so that you know what the vibes are, you know, like kind of like what they're reading to, and just like, oh my god, you know, not to an extent of spoiling it for anybody who may read this book or maybe like behind or whatever. And it happened twice for me, and I was just like, you serious? Like, stop! But besides that, I had a really good time with the sprints, and I made it to about, I think like 80% of the book before the sprints were over. So that was really nice. And then after they were over, I just went ahead and just zoomed through the last portion of the book. I think I'm landing at a 3 with the Haar. This is my first read by this author, so I didn't really know what to expect going into this. And while I loved the concepts, I love where the story was going, I love body horror, you guys, and this book is filled with it. Just like many books, I kind of dive in head first, not really knowing exactly what's going to be going on. I feel like the synopsis is pretty vague to an extent, but within like the first sprint, so 45 minutes of reading this, not a whole lot has happened. We're kind of like introduced to some of these people who do not want to give up their land for this big organization that's coming in and trying to like buy off everybody's land to make a golf course. And they're just like, no, this is our land. Like, we've had this in our family for decades. Like, we're not giving this up. And then slowly they're kind of like all selling out because the person who owns this organization is, I mean, he's passing out checks left and right. So there's still the few of them that are just like, no, we're standing our ground, and they are kind of like elders, so they kind of go to like a town meeting type of ordeal where they're discussing it and how they're going to stand their ground, and a lot of shady things are happening because these investors and this guy who's building this is kind of starting to get a little pissy about them not leaving, and that's about as far as it went. So I wasn't super invested so far after reading for 45 minutes, but the next 45 minutes took a turn of itself. I think everybody was kind of saying like around chapter 11 is when it really dials up the weirdness, and it just continues there on out. It's very gory, very body horror. There was some references to Monstrilio, and while I can see that concept, if you guys didn't know, if you haven't watched some of my past videos, Monstrilio was my top book of 2023. So I did like the concepts of this book in this like instance of it reminding me of Monstrilio, but the writing cannot compare. Monstrilio writing is incredible, the best of the best, where this was just mid for me, if I'm being honest. I really wasn't enjoying the writing as much. There was definitely scenes here and there where I was just like, oh, that's beautiful, or that was really cool how, you know, he described that or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I love gory books. I read slashers. I mean, I am a fan, but it was mentioned quite a lot in the live that this is a book written by a man, and it is just, I mean, you don't really have to explain anything further. You can just say this book was written by a man to kind of catch the drift of what I'm saying here by kind of feeling a little unsettled by how he worded certain things and how he went about certain scenes, and I didn't really enjoy that aspect of it, so I think it lands at a 3 for me, unfortunately. I still like it. 3 is not a bad rating, but it definitely isn't a top favorite like it could have been because I love Monstrilio so much. This morning, I read my second book, which was not that long at all, but I am making my way through all of Edgar Allan Poe's work. So I felt like this was like the perfect readathon to like slot a horror in from him. And I chose, I keep forgetting the name, the Cask of Amontillado. Also landing at a 3 with this one. It was a rather quick read, but this is a short story published in November of 1846. So your writing style is, I mean, it's very Edgar Allan Poe, and I have been enjoying his writing to an extent. I do feel like it takes me a little bit longer to read his work just because like you're really like focusing in and being like, oh, that's how they used to say it back then. It's very aged writing. Set in a nameless Italian city in an unspecified year, possibly during the 18th century, and concerns the revenge taken by the narrator on a friend who he claims has insulted him. I'm reading you guys the synopsis from Goodread because I was like, what takeaway or what can I really say about this book besides just saying revenge? Because it's just, from the get-go, you have like a very uneasy feeling about the point of view. So in this, how they've called the narrator, you have like an uneasy point of view where just like, what is this person like after? And he's like talking to this guy like they're like friends, but he's also talking in a way that's like they're not friends. It's very strange. And then you're thinking like this is all just fun and games, and it's not. He's a very wishy-washy character, it feels like, where you end up realizing like he's not. He's very kind of like set in his ways and is seeking his revenge. So I would say go into it knowing that it is of 2 frenemies, and it's a story on revenge. Not my favorite out of his work, but I did land at a 3 with it. And that means I'm 2 books down for my readathon. I am finishing up my makeup, getting ready so I can feel a little bit better today. A little bit more put together, so maybe I'm more motivated to vlog with you guys and get things going. I'm gonna do very minimal makeup, but I was sent a package from Lo'Real today, so I did already open it because I was like, I'm gonna get ready, I could use this. Really cool packaging. It came in kind of like a vault or capsule, and you have to align all of your top icons and like the top squares. I know it's kind of hard to see. Then that releases the handle so that you can open it, and it is their mascara. I don't know how new this mascara is, but it's the new gold standard panorama mascara from L'Oreal. So I'm going to try it today. So today Lexi is going to be hosting sprints throughout the day, I believe, that I'm going to try to utilize. Get some more of my reading done, and I think the next book I'm moving on to is The Broken Places, which I briefly mentioned yesterday. I am hoping to make quite a bit of a dent in it, hopefully even finish it before the watch party tonight. There is a movie watch party with every Horrorathon, and tonight we are watching Crimson Peak, I believe, and I think it's on Netflix. I think it starts at 7 my time, so I'm excited to have until then to hopefully complete another book, maybe start my next one or my last one. We'll see. I do think my readathon is gonna kind of like bleed into my Sunday a little bit, which is completely fine. I can't always seem to finish out my reads for just the 24 hours with also being human and wanting to sleep. So it is what it is. But I am going to finish out my makeup. I also was going to tell you guys, I wanted something to do because my next 2 books I have the audios for. I only have audio for The Broken Places. And then I do have this book, Alice, that I'm thinking will be my 4th book. Maybe, it depends on time-wise, how much time I have left. And if I'm going to have a lot of time tomorrow because it's Super Bowl Sunday. I don't really watch football, but we normally go to our like family's Super Bowl party for the food. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe I could just take my book there and like, you know, read it too. But for today, to kind of like power through the audiobooks and hopefully be able to like focus in on them, I checked out 2 different cross-stitch books from my library. This one I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while because I wanted to like see the layout of it and see how it is. Lindsay, I follow on Instagram, and I absolutely love her and her cross stitches so much. So I think I'm going to choose one from this, and I do want to buy myself a copy of it. But I also seen the unofficial Hocus Pocus cross-stitch book as well, and there's a bunch of really cute ones in here too, so I hope to get to some of them before long as well. But I'm going to pick out a cross-stitch and maybe try to complete a cross-stitch today and tomorrow as well. We will see. I'm getting more and more ambitious as this readathon goes on. Let my setting spray set, and then I want to try out this mascara. The wand is interesting. It's like a spiky one, but they're very like short spikes, and then it kind of goes up to a point. Excited to try out the formula though. This isn't usually my favorite type of wand, but we'll see formula wise. I will probably post like a TikTok or something on this if you guys want to check it out on my beauty TikTok. The Broken Places by Blaine Daigle. When Ryan Burdett inherits his family's old hunting cabin deep in the Yukon wilderness, he wants to say no. Nothing much is left of that place except for unpleasant memories and the smoke of old burns. But after a tragic year, he sees a weekend trip to the cabin with his best friends as a way to recuperate and begin again. But there is something strange about these woods. As a winter storm moves in, the animals begin acting strangely, and the natural laws of the wilderness seems to fall apart. Then the soft voices start whispering through the trees. Something is watching them. As the storm gets worse and the woods get darker, the 3 friends must dive into the darkest waters of the Burdett family lineage, because the horrible truth is deep, resting in the shadowed places no one wants to look. So it is pretty late now. I am about to go wash my face, get ready for bed. I unfortunately did not make it to the watch party tonight. I am still going to watch Crimson Peak this weekend. I'm hoping anyways. I'm going to probably watch it tomorrow morning before we go over to family house, or tomorrow whenever we're settling in. I might watch it then. Our night just kind of went south. We kind of got busy, and then it was just kind of a weird night. I've kind of been in a funk tonight, not really feeling the best mentally, so I just decided to kind of like chill out, relax for a while. The boys played some games and stuff, and then when they went to bed too, I just continued on with sprints. I actually went back and watched some of Amy's sprints. Her channel is Amy Noel. She does the Dark Hearts book club that I participate in, and the first book is The Broken Places. That was her January pick, and then her February pick is Alice. So I went back. She's doing this thing now where she, instead of doing like a live show, wrapping up the book, she does sprints a certain day each month where she reads the book pick, and you can read it as well and just do it throughout sprints, which I think is really cool. She doesn't give like away spoilers in case you're not reading it, but she does post them to Discord, like her spoilers or whatever, as she's like reading them. So I really enjoyed it. I'm really bummed that I missed the actual live, but I had a really good time just using the sprints to keep me going on this readathon, and also to kind of like be able to like read it with somebody and then go and see like the spoilers of what she was saying and stuff. And yeah, I finished The Broken Places. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a really hard time figuring out where to rate this, and I loved everybody's like feedback on Discord and the Dark Hearts Book Club on this one, because I think a lot of us were feeling a lot of the same things. This is a kind of like a survival horror meets like a secluded scenery, and it's winter and snowy, and also on top of that, folklore, sci-fi almost horror, and the mixture of everything I really liked. I liked the horror with like the animals and how creepy those scenes were described, and you know, some of the goriness that was also into it. But I think the overall plot, like how everything wrapped up, which would be a huge spoiler to you guys, wasn't really for me. I think that there was tie-ins with indigenous people that I felt like I could have done without. I don't know. I feel like it could have went in a different direction that would have worked a lot more for me than what it did. I can say I am appreciative that it didn't go too far in that direction of not liking it. But I still think I'm landing at a 3. And this is my third 3 so far for this readathon. Isn't bad. I at least have enjoyed reading the books that I've picked, but I'm just like, I guess it's just gonna be all 3s. With that being said, I am moving on. I've already made it to chapter 3 in Alice. I have no idea what to think of this so far, you guys, but I'm not finishing it today. I am going to bed because I am tired, so I'm going to have to finish this on my Sunday, in between everything else we have going on, and I will wrap up the readathon then. I do really want to watch her sprints. I started the Alice sprints that I also missed. I was bummed to see that she's already done her sprints for this book this month, because I was actually thinking about swapping books last minute for this, but she's already done the sprints, so I have been watching them. I'm hoping I can still continue to watch them, or at least see her feedback as I read this. But yeah, also, it's kind of messy because I have a lot of my floss, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit of an update. I don't know what you guys were expecting. Like, I don't know if you guys had thought like it was gonna be a crazy amount, but it is not. But this is the bottom of the bell jar. I haven't made my mind up yet if I'm gonna frame it like the original, but it's coming along. We have some green going on now, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But I'm gonna work on this some more. I'm gonna read Alice tomorrow, and I will check back in with you guys sometime then. Alice by Christina Henry. And a warren of crumbling buildings and desperate people called this old city stands a hospital with cinder block walls that echoes the screams of the poor souls inside. In the hospital, there is a woman. Her hair, once blonde, hangs and tangles down her back. She doesn't remember why she's in such a terrible place. Just a tea party long ago, and long ears and blood. Then one night, a fire at the hospital gives the woman a chance to escape. She tumbles out of the hole that imprisoned her, leaving her free to uncover the truth about what happened to her all those years ago. Only something else has escaped with her. Something dark, something powerful. And to find the truth, she will have to track the beast to the very heart of the old city where the rabbit waits for his Alice.
Ain't a party track, you go and play out with your friends. Yeah, I got some fucking problems, we all fucked in the end. When they fucking want me happy, I ain't fucking play pretend. fucking play pretend. Couple things I regret, cause I'm Robert, how I did. They fucking with me now, they fucking with me now. Every day.
Okay, you guys, I left you and completely forgot to film anything to wrap up this video. My mind just, the Super Bowl and then like Valentine's week, it just kind of has taken it out of me, and I was sitting down to edit this video and I was like, I didn't even like end the vlog. So some progress. I did watch Crimson Peak. I loved it. I think I ended up landing at like a 4 out of 5 with the movie. I am now inspired to watch some more movies. I'm wanting to make like a calendar, like a movie calendar. It's probably just going to be like horror based, but I'm inspired. I want to watch more horror. I just feel so out of the loop with so many movies, and there's so many that I want to rewatch too. And I'm trying to update my letterbox, which I always have linked down below if you want to follow me there for my like horror movie reviews. But yeah, I really liked Crimson Peak. I have since found out that it's actually a book, and I'm so bummed that I did not read this book before I watched the movie. I hate when I do that. I definitely want to still read it, but I loved the atmosphere. I loved the aesthetics. It was very gothic, gory. I loved the gore. I think the only downfall that I had was kind of like laughing at some of the parts of being like the actual like CGI or that type of special effects didn't really do it for me. You could kind of tell are a little outdated, but the gory parts I actually found to be pretty good, pretty decent, pretty good, and all of the blood played in with the scenery and everything. It was just really pretty. Plot, story-wise, I enjoyed. I don't think it was anything like super, super spectacular or like 100% like unique, but I still really enjoyed it. I also finished Alice. I'm landing at a 3 with this. I believe all my books in this video were a 3. It was just a 3 Horrorathon this month. Appreciate what Christina Henry set out to do with this book. I liked the dark storytelling. I like all of the characters from Alice in Wonderland, the ones that were mentioned. I liked what she did for the most part with certain characters, but I don't know. I just feel like there's a part of me that just feels like you could go a different direction than SA and abuse in general. I just feel like it could have went like a different dark retelling of, I don't know, keep it kind of still more fantasy and not so just like Alice is in like an asylum and then like is escaping with Hatcher, who I'm assuming is supposed to be like the Mad Hatter, if I'm not mistaken on that. I was even still confused reading this on like if he was supposed to be the Mad Hatter or if that's somebody that's going to come into maybe like the next book or something. But, you know, the bad guys being the walrus, I thought was really cool. I did also like the kind of like wishy-washy, like is he good, is he bad of the Cheshire. We also had the caterpillar in this. I liked that, and I like that the overall bad guy is actually the rabbit because, fun fact, watching Alice in Wonderland when I was little, like, the rabbit drove me insane. I'm like, just slow down, talk for a second. This is miscommunication. So I kind of like that in this dark retelling, he is kind of like the bad guy. But yeah, I just kind of wish it went in a different direction than what it did. I feel like it could have been such an awesome retelling with these characters and the darkness of it with different conflicts and plot going on. Besides that, I'm going to leave you guys there. I have made progress on my cross stitch quite a bit. We're actually seeing the skull now. and I'm super excited to continue working on it and hopefully finish it out. I was bummed I didn't get it finished for this video, but 24 hours was really putting a lot on me, and then I've even worked on this a little bit this week as well, so stay tuned. I might throw it in another vlog. I have this one and then like a few other cross stitches that I've started, so I'm like, I just need to do like a video reading and then like finishing current like whips, like work in progresses, because I have quite a few of them. But I am really excited with how far I've gotten, and it's looking so cute. I cannot wait to get it done and framed, and cannot wait. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me for another Horrorathon. Like I mentioned, these are bi-monthly, so this one was February, so stay tuned. There should be one in April. And you can look for it on Ashley's channel, Ashley's Little Library, or follow the 24-hour Horrorathon on Instagram to know when the next one is. But again, thank you to Ashley for hosting the Horrorathon. It's so much fun. I just have the best time every round. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.